What is permaculture to you, or how would you define permaculture?
So I think the classic definition of permaculture, which is ecological design, is an appropriate one. But I've gotten so much more from permaculture, be it with the relationships that it has helped me form, and relationships not just with other people, but with the ecosystem that I'm involved in, the plants that I deal with on a daily basis. I think permaculture has given me a platform to kind of weave these things together, and how do they support one another. I feel the overwhelming need to bring together a community of like-minded people that see the way that the world is going and want to have a positive impact on it, and towards changing that, and towards steering the story to something that is resilient and regenerative, and really supports life.
Permaculture to me, at first it seemed like, oh, I don't have to weed anymore. So at first it was like, okay, farming is very difficult and there aren't a lot of people to help me, so permaculture seemed like a great way to alleviate some of the stress of regular farming. And slowly I'm learning through my education, and I need to be educated more, that permaculture is it's a way of life, it's a way of viewing farming, it's a way of viewing how you get your food, and it's just a way of life. So it's taken on more of a lifestyle rather than I gotta get up this morning and it's so hard and I don't want to weed, but oh, I can't see the garden anymore and the vegetables are lost. So it's definitely a way of life now.
Permaculture is it's a design science that's based on ecology. So ecology is the science of studying how an ecosystem works, basically how energy flows through an ecosystem and how all of the different organisms relate to each other. Mm-hmm. And so permaculturists have looked at the ways that ecosystems function and then have taken sort of generalized concepts from how an ecosystem works and turned them into design tools that we can apply to human systems, society, so that we can build societies that function the way that an ecosystem functions, because right now almost everything about our society is breaking the rules that ecosystems follow, which means we're destroying all of the ecosystems on the planet and undermining our own possibility for survival.
Permaculture to me is something that's our birthright, something that's very instinctual. I think it's the connection between man or woman and the earth, and tuning into what's happening around us, and treating the earth with love and care, and trying to heal what's going on. We're at the point that we haven't taken enough good care of the earth, so now we need to heal it. So yeah, it's just being tuned in and curious and positive, and understand what's going on, or maybe understanding that it's hard to understand what's going on, but if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So the first thing, I guess, about how I would define permaculture is I think it's a plural word. I think it's, by definition, needs to be plural. It's more permaculture. Because the idea that there's only one way to do it is frightening. It seems limiting. It seems sort of autocratic, or have a control system of who says what is permaculture. So that's the first thing. And yes, I think it's enduring cultures. But within that, there needs to be change. And that's why the whole idea of permanence, they really often reflect the landscapes, like with the straight up design system, like Mollis's design system, where you're working with the land. And that's what they talk about. It gets a little iffy when you actually bring in cultural elements, like human cultural elements, that are distinct from just the pure land-based homestead kind of stuff. Because like I said, like we were talking about, permaculture can be this room, and it is. But there's not swales, there's not plants, there's not all these specific things that make a typical design. So yeah, so I like to think of, again, going back to cultural success, succession and just moving towards regeneration.